In John chapter 7, in verses 14 and following, Jesus is in Jerusalem at a festival, and there is some conflict because some of his fellow Jews are criticizing him and questioning, saying things like, how does this man have such learning when he has never been taught? And other people are saying, well, how could a man speak like Jesus speaks and do what he does if he weren't from God? And this is related to healing on the Sabbath and some of the other things that Jesus has been doing. And in verse 24, as part of his response, Jesus is talking about, did not Moses give you the law, yet none of you keeps the law? And he says in verse 24, do not judge by appearances, but judge with right judgment. Now, in this specific case, Jesus is talking about how they are focusing on one aspect of the law of Moses about observing the Sabbath and neglecting the greater need to heal on the Sabbath if someone is in need. And this verse, I was just struck by this verse about don't judge by appearances. It can be so easy on the surface to look at a person or a situation and make a snap judgment. But Jesus says, judge with right judgment. Keep in mind, it seems to me, he's saying, what is of ultimate importance in the law. And it's far more important in the law how we treat other people than it is how well we follow rules. In this case, about healing on the Sabbath. And judgment is something that we all do in a sense of we need to be discerning. We don't want to be deceived. We don't want to be fooled. We don't want to be led astray. But we also don't want to miss what God is doing that may be of great importance because we're kind of focused on the small thing and missing the larger thing. It's kind of the forest for the trees principle, if you will. And for all of us in our own lives, as disciples of Jesus, we want to make sure we're keeping the main thing, which is loving God with all our heart, soul, strength, and mind, and loving our neighbor as ourselves. We need to be careful because we are living in an age where social media especially is giving all kinds of, every person who wants it, a megaphone to reach the whole world and to share things anonymously and with very little personal consequences. And that leads people to say things that are more and more extreme, that stoke anger, fear, and suspicion. And this isn't helpful. It's not helpful for us as individuals, not helpful for our country. And it also leads to people making surface judgments about other people rather than getting to know them. So Jesus encourages us, do not judge by appearances, but judge with right judgment. Make sure you are judging things based on God's standards, God's commandments, and God's values about what is truly most important.